Ma'am, please have a seat. It is Aleeza or Aleeza?
Sir, it's Aleeza.
Aleeza. Aleeza, welcome on board. And would you like to start with your introduction?
Yes, sir. My name is Aleeza 𝐀𝐥𝐞𝐞𝐳𝐚. I hail from Lahore. My father is a businessman and my mother is a dedicated housewife. As far as my education is concerned, my early education is from Al-Falah Academy. My college FSc and my BSc is from Queen Mary College. And then subsequently, my MSc and my MPhil is from University of Punjab in microbiology and molecular genetics. After my studies, I started preparation of my CSS exam. Along with that, I was also a self-employed home tutor and online tutor in various private organizations. After preparation, I appeared in my CSS 2025 exams and cleared that written exam as well.
Aleeza, as per your introduction, you said that right after your graduation, you started preparing for civil superior services examination.
Yes, sir.
Is it so? And you graduated in 2019 and this is 2025. Why did it take 6 years?
Sir, my first attempt was in 2020, but I failed that attempt.
Okay.
Yeah, my second attempt was on 2024. I also couldn't qualify that.
And what was the result of that 2024?
Sir, I failed in 𝗔𝗹𝗲𝗇.
And total aggregate score?
I think about, sir, around 500 and something.
Okay. So you've chosen different optionals this time or you've chosen the same
Sir, I have
combination?
chosen the same optionals. Along with CSS, I have also qualified the PMS.
And what happened there?
Sir, I couldn't...
You couldn't get allocation. Okay. Aleeza, what I see in your profile is that you have written 𝐀𝐥𝐞𝐞𝐳𝐚, favorite personality, 𝐀𝐥𝐴ZM, founding father, and there you write the professional cricketer with consistency of performance of achieving global milestones and breaking records. This is the first time to my knowledge that 𝐀𝐥𝐴ZM was also a cricketer.
Sir, I have not read that part. I thought that it was related to some sportsman. And I don't cherish any sportsman.
Okay, any personality that you think of is your favorite personality?
Sir, 𝐀𝐥𝐴ZM basically, Malala Yousafzai is also my favorite personality.
Why?
Sir, because she is a symbol of women empowerment and she is a renowned advocate for girls' education around the world. So that is why she is my favorite.
Let's explore what is women empowerment.
Sir, women empowerment is basically an approach towards women in which we advocate for the provision of equal economic, social and political rights for women. We advocate for the more increased political participation, for equal economic opportunities and for the provision of education to our women so that our women can contribute in a constructive way to our nation's development.
What is Quranic version of women empowerment?
Sir, sir, I do not know about the exact verses, but I can explain in Quranic context.
Yes.
That Quran has given so many rights to women related to their rights of inheritance, right of equal education. So in this way, Quran has promoted women empowerment.
What are the gender roles demarcated in Quranic Pak? Clearly given 1, 2, 3, these are the duties of men and these are the duties and roles of women.
Sir, as per Quran, man has given the role of a provider as a breadwinner of the family. He is the protector of his female counterpart, and the women are supposed to live in the house to cherish his kids, and they can also take part in business. They can also get education, and they can also take part in state and various business activities if they want to. So basically, the role of women is supposedly to live in house, and the role of woman is supposedly to provide protection and food and all the necessities of life to his family.
What are the words used by Quranic Pak for men in attributing their duties as a male counterpart?
I cannot recall the exact words.
Okay, what is feminism?
So feminism is basically an approach. Feminism is basically the approach towards women that advocates for equal rights of women. There are different kinds of feminism. For example, liberal feminism, radical feminism, socialist feminism, Marxist feminism.
Do you call yourself a feminist?
Sir, I might be a liberal feminist.
Liberal
Being a
feminist.
woman, I advocate and I think that women should have equal rights.
Okay, Aleeza, you being liberal feminist, how would you describe yourself?
Sir, I would describe myself that I have been an advocate of women's rights, of women's education, particularly in my surrounding at small level. I think that women should have equal opportunity to education and economic opportunities, as this will result in their overall empowerment.
No, who has stopped you? Nobody stopped you. You have qualified written part of examination. You have done post graduation. Mashallah, you are accomplished. And I don't think there was anybody who was stopping you to reach there.
Yes, sir, there was nobody. I am not talking about my views on women empowerment.
No, I'm asking you specifically, what is the label that asks you to label yourself? What is that particular definition that you've held on to for liberal feminist, that you call yourself liberal feminist?
Sir, I can, within the different theories of feminism, I can classify myself in under the umbrella of liberal feminism, because liberal feminism advocates for equal rights of women, and I think I hold the same view, identical to that theory. So that is why.
Is there any constitutional article that provides this particular approach?
Sir, I think Article 25 provides this approach, that there should be no discrimination on the basis of race, gender, or sex.
Do you have any favorite political scientists?
Sir, my favorite political scientist is Machiavelli, and the second one is Aristotle.
Machiavelli. What book has Machiavelli written?
So he has written The Prince. It is his magnum opus.
Okay, The Prince. We would like to have your take regarding Prince. What does Prince say?
Sir, I think if we see the world through realistic perspective, The Prince has provided us with enormous depth and knowledge. Machiavelli has authored in his book The Prince that the ruler should be realistic. He should not be so lenient. He should keep an eye on his governors, on his administrators, and he should found his state on strong foundations. So basically, he preferred the strictness over leniency, and he said that his prince can use each and every method to stabilize his reign and his state.
In US history, there was a civil rights movement.
Yes,
You must have gone through civil rights movement.
yes, sir.
What impact did civil rights movement cast on the global human rights?
Sir, the civil rights movement of the America that started in around the middle of the 20th century, it cast broad impact. It had broad implications for women rights, for human rights, and for the liberties and rights of African Americans there. It ensured the right to vote for women and for African Americans, and it ensured that the discrimination should be ended in USA regarding these nations.
Your favorite book is 21 Lessons of 21st Century.
Yes, sir.
Is it so?
Yes, sir.
What is so special in this book?
Sir, in this book, the author Yuval Noah Harari has enlisted 21 threats and challenges that the modern world is facing in 21st century. And by dealing with each chapter one by one, he has also he has elaborated about these challenges and also presented with possible solutions that we can use while facing these challenges.
Is international law a true law? It is said that international law is not a binding law, so it is basically customary.
Yes.
So municipal law is better than international law. Do you think international law should be there?
But I think international law is not a true law, but it is very significant in instructing and in dictating the relations between the states and between the states and United Nations. And yes, in some ways, the municipal law is very much important as compared to international law, because it has the power of implementing its laws. It has a defined executive authority for the implementation of its enacted laws. However, in the case of international law, there is no enforcing authority. That is why it is also sometimes perceived as a weak law.
Aleeza, you've told in your profile that you are very punctual and disciplined.
Yes, sir.
What is the key to time management?
Sir, I think being punctual, solving a problem within the confined limits of time is the key for time management.
Give me 5 major problems of Pakistan.
Sir, the first problem that is facing Pakistan is climate change. The second one is terrorism. The third one is national disintegration. The fourth one is pollution. Pakistani cities are also facing with this problem. And the fifth one is population, I must say.
Population. So you seem to agree with the concept that there is no political instability, there is no democracy issues, there is no social justice system that is in vogue.
Sir, I agree these issues are Pakistani society is facing with these issues, but I think the top five issues that are presenting existential threat to the nation are climate change, terrorism, population, the issue of smog that is presenting health hazards to people, and national disintegration as it will.
What is corruption perception index?
Sir, I cannot recall that.
Okay. Can you tell me the flaws of criminal justice system of Pakistan?
I cannot.
Quote me 3 to 4 constitutional articles that speak of fundamental human rights.
Sir, first one is Article number 9 that deals with freedom that deals with the right to life. Then there is Article 10 that deals with the right to fair trial. Then there is Article 14 that deals with the inviolability of dignity of man. And there is obviously Article number 25 that deals with that there should be no discrimination on the basis of caste and.
Aleeza, you are a specialist in your field. You have done MPhil in microbiology.
Yes, sir.
I believe that it's a specific scientific field, and you have a tendency or a potential to become a specialist in that particular field. Why would you like to join a generalist service wherein there are a number of candidates who would have done simple graduation and they would be part of the civil service? So why would you like to join civil services?
Sir, I started my graduation in this field because I wanted to serve people. There was a tendency at my home as well to serve people. My mother is also a doctor. But when I started my academic career, I felt that I can serve people only at a very small level, confined within the limits of a lab, basically, for my whole life. So that is why I wanted exposure, I wanted learning and dynamics throughout my whole life. And I wanted to serve people. I wanted to add value to my life and my society as well. So that were basically the factors that led me towards civil services.
What do you think, my last question to you, Aleeza, what do you think, you being a female counterpart, count as 3 to 4 ingredients or factors that you would like to have in your life partner?
Sir, I want him to be respectful. I want him to be disciplined, as I value this. I want him to be responsible regarding our relationship and regarding his relationship to his family and overall his surroundings. And the fourth one is I want him to be honest. That's it.
Sir, I would like to request my learned member to continue asking questions.
Thank you very much. Well, you have taken US history as in one of your optional subject. I would like to ask, like, do you find any comparison between the US history and the Pakistani constitutional history? What is the institutional success that US had and Pakistan did not have and missed it?
As per my perspective, Pakistan, like USA history, that is based on the presidential form of government. Pakistan has also experimented with that presidential form of government in 1962. But as we see that in the case of United States, it has succeeded enormously in founding that presidential system of government on sound and strong foundations, while Pakistan has failed in doing this experiment. So this is what institution that I believe that that is much more developed in the United States as compared to Pakistan.
Precisely which part of the government, like whether it's legislative or whether it is judiciary or whether it is the whether one of these components which are not working fully in Pakistan and they are working fully in US, what would be that pillar would be?
Sir, I think I would like to mention about judiciary. In Pakistan, under 27th Amendment, we have seen that judiciary has reduced and lost its tremendous powers of taking suo motu notice and handling constitutional cases. So in the case of United States, the Supreme Court is an equal pair with executive and legislative, while it is not in the case of Pakistan. In the United States of America, the Supreme Court can have a judicial review over the actions of legislation and executive, while it is not the case with the Pakistan.
Okay, can you tell me what is the law of sea? International law of sea. You have international law as your.
Yes, sir. The law of the sea was enacted in 1982. As per this law, each country would have its own zone, exclusive economic zone, and its a sea territory on which that state would have exclusive economic rights to explore that seabed and sea shelf for its own economic benefit.
Do you recall it? Is it anywhere in the world that is disputed?
Sir, in the region of South China Sea,
Yes.
this treaty presents.
Give me another one.
Sir, the another one, I must say Pakistan, between Pakistan and India on the issue of Sarkari, basically.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And can you recall something in Asia Pacific?
Sir, I cannot recall that.
Okay. Okay, tell me something about the new off-pack policy. Like, how do you see that? How the Pakistan would like to, get along with Afghanistan in terms of foreign policy? What is your opinion?
Sir, as far as the issue of Pakistan and Afghanistan relations is concerned, right now Pakistan is facing strained relationships with Afghanistan. Pakistan has used all the soft and hard measures to compel the Afghan Taliban to take a firm action against PTP that are operating from their soil and causing cross-border terrorism on Pakistani soil. But as we have seen that Afghanistan has not paid heed to Pakistan's legitimate calls, and it has repeatedly denied that. So right now, for now, Afghanistan is not, coming at the negotiating table. So Pakistan must continue with its combination of hard plus soft measures to compel Afghan rulers to have a stern action, to take a firm action against PDP.
Okay, do you think it is a diplomacy problem or foreign policy problem? Like it has something to do with the Taliban government, or is it?
Sir, I think this is the problem of foreign policy in the long run, on the part of Pakistan.
And let's suppose in the short run.
Sir, in the short run, of course, it is the fault of Afghan Taliban that they are not understanding the issue of terrorism that is causing regional instability in their neighbors as well.
And they have something to do with it, like are they stupid or something like?
No, sir. Actually, it's the root of this issue is lying in their cultural values and traditions. They are basically very much aligned with TTP, as they see that they are their partners and their guests, and they do not, violate the sanctity of their guests. This is in their traditions and cultures.
What is the Indian take on this very issue? What do you think? What is the Indian take on that very